we? Okay, we are recording. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be episode 3 of the Let's Talk series. Let's talk. Oh, I'm already messing up. Episode 3 of the social hour. Now, I have a lot of explaining to do. I want to apologize so much for that hiatus. It was not my fault, and I am super disappointed that it happened. But what can I do? So, again, glare, nothing I can do about it. Let's move on. So, in regards to episode 12 or 11 of the Let's Talk, where I posted about my podcasting journey, why I started it, how I started it. Today I'm going to be talking about the experiences I've had with my podcast and do I recommend? So our topic of discussion is how I started my podcast and my podcasting experience thus far. Now, my notes are right here. I will be looking down periodically just to keep myself on track. So, let's get right into it. If you don't know me, if you are new to my channel, my name is Kai. I host the Let's Talk series and the Crochet Corner podcast here on YouTube, and I want to thank you for coming into the social hour. The social hour is where I just pick a topic of discussion for the week, and it is more of a listening than a visual podcast. If you are more into a visual podcasting experience, I do upload show and tell podcast kind of on Saturdays, and I had an upload schedule, and I'm going to try to get right back to that, which is Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And I do apologize for the hiatus. I will explain why it happened in the Crochet Corner podcast video. So let's get right into this topic of discussion. So how I started my podcast. So my podcast came to be because I already had a channel. So before I started my crochet journey, I had a singing channel. And if you go back far enough in my videos, you will see my singing videos where I wrote songs and I did covers. And then I posted my first ever, it was just like, I think it was the time-lapse video or it was the tutorial. Well, the time-lapse video was just me creating a granny square, and people were like, they loved it. So I was like, oh, cool, I can integrate the two. And then I posted my first ever tutorial, and it got so many views, and I was like, yay, like this is where it's at, and I loved it. So I did that for a while, just looking at like the crochet community, because at first I was like, nobody on the history of YouTube, leave the baby alone. Nobody in the history of YouTube is going to be interested in somebody crocheting. And then I stumbled upon the knitting community. Now, I didn't even at this moment, I didn't know how to knit. So it was just kind of crazy how I stumbled upon the knitting community first. And I was watching those podcasts first before I even knew about the crocheting ones. So based off of that, I had no idea how to knit at this point. So I'm watching all these cool crafts that these people are making, and I'm like, I have no idea what they're talking about or how to do that. So I said, I want to start a crochet podcast. Now, I didn't necessarily think I was the only crocheter, but I definitely was like, there is a lack of representation of crochet podcasts in the YouTube community. In this next point, you may not like it, but it's how I felt in the lack of Black African American female representation in the crafting community in general. So I felt like I wanted to create something that going back to those months, I wanted to create something that I would enjoy watching. So that's when I uploaded my first ever crochet podcast, and it took me 4 days to film it, because at first I had this really crappy webcam, and then I tried to use my computer camera, and my computer camera was just horrible. And then I set it on my phone, and that it was our Let's Talk video. What our Let's Talk video was about was me filming on my phone. And then I edited on my phone, and then at first I didn't have my intro, but then my intro was actually just the beginning of a song that I wrote, which is on my my channel called Untitled, and I just sped it up, added the picture that said Kai Shanae, and then that's how I got my intro. So I love my intro. I'm not gonna lie, it's shameless plug. I love my intro because it's like I don't know. I just like when I go back and I watch my videos, I always watch my videos to make sure that the quality is good and see what I can improve on later. And I love just like listening to the intro. It's so cute. So that is the reason why and how I started my podcast. And it has been the most wonderful journey thus far. So let's get into my podcasting experience thus far. And this has a lot of points to it because it has been a roller coaster. Like, people who have been with me from the beginning, you guys know that it has been a roller coaster with me, and I'm not as consistent as I would like to be. So, and I do apologize about that. But this hiatus was not my fault. Okay. So, I want to say a couple things that if you are thinking about starting your channel, you have to be aware of. Because it does come with expectations. Everything you do comes with expectations, and you have to be prepared for them. And I can honestly say that I was not prepared for the expectations that came with having a weekly podcast. Now, expectations as in you have to craft. There's something your audience is it's coming and sitting down with you because you are presenting something. You say that I will be here every Saturday to bring you guys a video of what I'm doing. So throughout the week, you have to craft to show your progress, because virtually this is a virtual diary, and you can go back and watch your progress throughout the months as well. But there is the expectation to craft in general. So that was kind of hard for me, because I do lose my crojo every once in a while. So those moments where I'm not crafting, like I lost my crojo for a long time, and you guys know, for like months. And then I just got it back. So with that coming back came that expectation of you have to craft. And it became more of a job instead of a hobby, and I lost the joy and the reason why I enjoyed crocheting. And I will get into that later. But yeah, so to those out there who want to start their podcast, make sure that you are ready for that expectation. It can either be a good or a bad thing for you. For me, it was in the middle, because it really showed I progressed so much since starting my channel than I think I would have if I hadn't have had that expectation. But then I also realized some faults that I have when it comes to making a commitment to things, and it's forcing me to work on that thing. So like, there's a pro and a con to everything, and I am in the middle when it comes to that. And my next point being is that crocheting felt like a job, and I felt like I constantly had to be doing something, and if I wasn't doing something, you guys wouldn't want to watch the videos. And it was a never-ending cycle of I'm feeling like I'm letting down you guys. And I had to take a step back and realize, like, that's not the case. You are here because you're interested in seeing what I'm doing. And I realized that I still had that same dynamic with you guys, even when I had one finished object. Even when I had one half finished object, you guys were still, oh, great video this far. You weren't ever thinking that I'm lacking. I was thinking that I'm lacking, And I realized, like me, when I watch podcasts, I'm just here to enjoy your time. It's cool seeing what you're crafting, but I'm here to enjoy you. And I realized that through my interactions with my subscribers, that you guys were here to enjoy me. And it wasn't always about what I'm crafting. So be prepared for things like that. Everything comes with an expectation and a pro and a con. Thirdly, my personal life. Now, everybody knows like things happen like from left and from the right and the middle, back. It things happen all around you, and I wasn't really finding a way to juggle my crochet YouTube and everything that I was going through. So I recluded I what is that word? There is a word. I'm thinking of that word, but that word is not coming out of my mouth. I withdrew from the thing that was easiest to withdraw from, which was the YouTube. And it was hard trying to work through everything that I was going through here and still try to do this here. And I wasn't mature enough to deal with both. And I'm still learning how to deal with both, because I was inconvenienced last month actually. I was very inconvenienced, and I did not do here while I was doing here. So yeah, it's a learning process. And I think as long as I'm looking back at those past mistakes and those things that I'm doing, I can get better and I can move forward with my channel. So another thing to my podcasters to be, just always think about that as well. When things are happening in your life, this can be an escape. It really can be. But do not ever be afraid to drop this and handle this, because your personal life and things going on around you is a little bit more important. And the last one is the one that I feel like affects all of us. So all of us YouTubers out there, no matter what you do, is the Papa Jojo, you stop yelling at her. Is the rising and the falling of our subscribers and our views. I don't know why I got super quiet. But yeah, so that is something that's so hard to deal with, because when you're uploading a video, you get in this state of mind where you're constantly checking like, oh, look at this views, look at how many subscribers I have, this and that. And it will bring you down. It happened to me. But what do you have to do? Is you have to work through that, because it's not about the numbers. It's about you doing what you love. And when I realized that is, I will tell you guys, when I realized that this is my channel and I have to realize that I need to post what I want to post that makes me happy. And that's a part of the reason why I started the social hour. I had been wanting to start this type of podcast for a long time, but I was scared. I was like, who wants to listen to this? But it was received very well. And it's something that I really love to do. And this is probably one of my favorite segments besides the actual podcasting. The visual podcasting is what I like to call it. So don't be afraid of those numbers, and don't ever think that because there's so many podcasters out there, who cares? Not everybody is for everybody. There are some people who don't like me and they don't watch my videos, but they will watch the next video. You will have an audience. Just understand that? Because if you let that thinking get you down, you're never going to try anything in life. Nobody can do something that you can better than you. And I say that is because even though we're all in the same craft, there are so many things that I have learned from you guys and so many things that you have learned from me, and it's all different and it works for us, if that makes any type of sense at all. Hold on. I see you creeping, girl. Leave that alone. Leave mama stuff alone. So don't ever get discouraged by things like that, because your videos will be for somebody. Remember that. Start your channel if you want to, and leave your link down below. We support everybody over here. You know what I'm saying? And not the last point, but do I regret my channel? No. Despite everything that I have gone through with my channel, I don't regret it. I have had the most fun ever doing this channel. It has been such a joy, such a pleasure, and interacting with you. Girl, leave my yarn alone, girl. Interacting with you all has been the most amazing experience ever, because I realized, I've always wanted to be a YouTuber. And what I realized is that the way that the young YouTubers are now was not what was right for me. And I found my community, and my community is here amongst the wonderful crocheters and knitters and the crafters on YouTube. And it just makes me really, 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 really happy. And there are so many things that I've done. Like, I made a sweater, I made a shawl. I've made so many things that I never ever in a million years, honest to God, thought that I would be able to create. And it's all because I'm constantly learning from you all. And that is why I will never ever give up on my channel, and I will never ever regret my channel, no matter like what I have gone through with it and because of it. So lastly though, going into my experience, I highly recommend, if you want to start your channel, you start that channel. And if you need any tips and tricks, go ahead and watch my Let's Talk video, because I have a lot of tips on there that will be able to help you guys as far as what you can film with, what I film with, and things like that. But I do highly recommend to everybody who wants to start. There is room enough for you. There's room enough for everybody. And if you want to link your new podcast below, go ahead and do it, baby. I don't care. We are supporting each other 100% all 2018. So, other than that, yes, I highly recommend you start a podcast if you would like one. And I just have a couple concluding remarks here. One thing I really, really want to recommend is when you get started, do not let it kill your joy. It can happen. It really can. Remember why you love to crochet. And crocheting or knitting or making in general is not a job unless you choose it to be. Just keep it fun. You know, and if you can't commit to a week, you tell your audience, hey, I'm uploading when I want. You know, and if you have to take a break, you take your break, but don't let this podcasting kill your joy of your craft. Okay, guys, don't do it. I did it, and I worked through it, and I'm out of it. Girl, if y'all get out of my bed. Girl, y'all, she just went all in my purse. Excuse me. It was all in my purse. This crazy cat. It is so different having a cat versus a dog. But don't let anything that you do kill your joy of your craft, and you keep crafting fun. So that is all. This is actually a short one that I have for this episode 3 of the Social Hour. I do apologize for that hiatus, guys, and I will explain everything in my next video. So if you have enjoyed the Social Hour, leave a comment below. And of course, if you have a podcast, feel free to share your experiences. And if you're wanting to start a podcast and you have any questions that you want me to answer, just let me know. Look, just leave them in the description box below, and I will answer all your questions and help you as much as I can. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 3 of the Social Hour. I'll see you in the next one.